Aloha mai kako, a kamamaita curtain call, a program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. Wilma Nakamura birthed the Art of Trash show here, transferring Big Island artist Ira Ono's idea to Maui. She is the mother of this show. It was among my earliest reviews for the Maui News in 2000. It started in Queen Ka'aumano Center, then when the recession hit, the county ceased its sponsorship. It was dormant until Maui Malama Nui stepped in to resurrect this most creative Maui show. It was one of the most anticipated Maui shows for its endless creativity in repurposing that which we throw away. Mother Wilma had a stroke and passed on to the next great adventure on March 24th, on the first receiving day of the current show. There is a beautiful memorial to her, including this wonderful portrait by John Shamblin and many photos from throughout her life. Also, there is a book where you may leave any fond memories you have of our wonderful Wilma. But as they say, the show must go on, and it was ready for this year because Julia Rubenstein, Malama Maui Nui, interim executive director, has been assisting Wilma for the past few years, and she has stepped in to ensure that Wilma's legacy continues. The return of the live show from the COVID-inspired alterations is such a delight. This year's show is in a fabulous space near the UPS Center in the Maui Mall. The space is cavernous, open with great light and high ceilings. Wilma is smiling, I am certain. One of the innovations this year is the addition of samples from the Aina to go with and enhance the displays. Malama Maui Nui. Operations manager Daryl Naole told me they will be rotating the native flora on display approximately every 10 days. Right now, you can see a rare yellow ohia lehua, a very tall kukui tree, kamani, and a'ali'i, among others. Also on display is an example of non-art repurposing of discarded plastic. This bench is made from plastic recovered from the sea, including these buoys, which Ms. Rubenstein told me were the most difficult to repurpose. One tradition that is not concluded is the inclusion of Judy Bruder as the juror. This is an exceptionally strong show, and I do not envy Ms. Bruder's responsibilities. For her first prize, Ms. Bruder selected Becky Lewis's Alley. This depiction of an alligator made from found metal collected over a year is an extraordinary piece of construction and imagination. She uses wire and pliers to attach the pieces. It is mind-bogglingly complex, as was her last year's winner, Chiefy, a found object dog constructed of string and wire. Ms. Lewis is on a roll. This work would be at home around any McKenna or Kapalua infinity pool. Robert Sargenti garnered second prize with this whimsical work entitled Karen, created from found objects in last year's beach cleanup. Tim Gunter, who annually creates the most work of any contributor, was awarded third prize for Harmony. This depiction of ducks swimming one way and giraffes walking another. I envisioned Mr. Gunter's abode like Alexander Calder's, lined and filled with what we might discard and name junk, but in what he sees beauty, whimsy, and expressivity. This work came from a grand piano he was given and his own piano. Among her honorable mentions are this tetanus fish, made from found Kula farm tools by Hugh A. Neese. This pirate ship, made from rolled up newspapers, cardboard, coffee ink for color, masts for pine wood, and hemp rigging by Leon Ambassa Allen, and going fishing of found beach plastic, found fishing pole, drywall screws, and hot glue by Jason Elder. Beside the work selected by Ms. Bruder, I found several notable works. First among them is this amazing Henry the Blue Sea Serpent by Susan K. Sullivan. It will greet you as you enter this gallery. Ms. Sullivan informs the viewer she used found objects around her home, including chicken wire, old wood, old newspapers, paint, glue, and old crystals. It looks like it could be in a Disney movie. Here is Mr. Gunter's employment of a Christmas ornament, vacuum cleaner tubes, bamboo curtain, spice rack, shot glasses, and piano pedals to create this impression of the great Liberace. Mr. Gunter always has his tongue firmly planted in his cheek. Suzanne Wilson and Mark Anderson, her beachcombing buddy, gathered the materials for You Makame Sick. Mr. Anderson apparently found the piece of wood with the title on it. Amazing. Note the identity of the materials emblazoned at the top of the piece. It almost looks like a gravestone. Ms. Wilson informs the viewer, quote, "I have always hated plastic," unquote. Michelle Gonzalez has created Winter Night, an homage to her late Aunt Nancy, who was institutionalized for most of her life, but when she was able to go out, she would drive deep into the woods. Ms. Gonzalez inherited her aunt's fashion jewelry, and she worked on this piece for 6 months, adding beach plastics, seashells, broken drinking glass, among other items, to create this beautiful image of a winter night. I think her Aunt Nancy would be delighted. Ms. Gonzalez and her wife do road trips to the forest, so this mountain cabin is an enjoyable memory and a recreation of those times through repurposed, found, and discarded materials. Charles Antoine Villers has 2 companion works, Under the Weather and Over the Moon, and Over the Moon and Under the Weather. Mr. Villers uses the plastic pieces as he finds them on the beach. He insists on using them as they are originally discovered, thus creating one-of-a-kind puzzles made from found plastic and marine debris collected from our beaches. And now for something completely different. Hugh Anise and Asher the cat rancher wanted to create something functional from junk. They found copper pipe from a Kula farm, old milk churn base from a dump in Keokea. There's a dump in Keokea? And a sifter from the Pu'unene sugar mill, and voila, let there be light. Jefferson Stillwell had a bunch of marbles from a landscaping project. He wanted to showcase them and built the box with a birthday cake princess as the goddess Pandora. The piece is called Pandora's Box. Here is another stunning work from Mr. Villers. Again, he has created a magnificent scenario with these amazing pachyderms. He tells the viewer the hardest thing to find is yellow for the trunks and ears. It is the 3rd rarest color among ocean plastics. Here is Mr. Elder's interpretation of a baseball player made from beach plastic, driftwood, and metal fasteners called What's Up. The viewer can see him getting ready to face the onslaught of spheroids that are about to be launched at him. The moth is said to be a sacred symbol of one's spirit. Mr. Gunter has taken a candle holder, wine rack, stereo speaker, eyes, lamps, and leaf sculpture and melded them into Rack-a-Tune Moth. Here is another piece from Mr. Stillwell called I Am. The design came from a t-shirt he designed called Me Day. He thought about 3 qualities he wanted to portray, were kindness, whimsical, and mischievous. I love the tower of used plastic bottles for whimsy, and the broken heart mended with a gold star for kindness was inspirational. The whole piece makes a colorful statement. Monica Arborakis discovered a new material for repurposing I have never seen before. For this work, she used the wasted ink trays from a Xerox machine from her office. She noticed they had a unique sculptural aspect to them. She paired them with various printed material to create this unique work, Print Art Working for You. She tells us, quote, "It took the human eye to recognize the unique art possibilities that most people would have thrown away," unquote. You too can be a juror. There is once again a People's Choice Award. Visit www.malamamauinui.org and click on Art of Trash. There you can cast your vote for your favorite and or support them by purchasing an Art of Trash t-shirt. The gallery is open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. until April 29th. Wilma is so delighted her legacy endures in Maui's consistently most creative show. Long may it continue. Maui loves it. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo nui loa for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Ahui ho.